Hey, what is up everybody? Michael Crump back here again, talking about the latest and the greatest in PlayStation homebrew news and much more. So I noticed that vue-after-free 2.0 has recently been released, and I thought in this episode today we would go ahead and take a look at what all has been included and go ahead and kick the tires a little bit. So we can see that 2.0 is the version that came out. Now the previous version of this was 1.4, and I thought they were going to go to 1.5, but I believe they felt that this was big enough to deem a 2.0 release. So anyways, what was included is net control stability improvements. We also have a fully remote installer. Now this does require an internet connection or a separate PC. And one thing that you might be wondering is, where is this at? And well, it's actually inside of that same main repo. Right here is where that remote installer is. And just kind of looking at this, you can see there is this deploy.sh file, and you can basically get your system jailbroken just by running this script. Let's go ahead and see what else was included in here. So we just covered the fully remote installer. There is also now extended storage install by Dr. Yin Yin. So obviously this is going to be great because you no longer have to factory reset your console to install or repair the Vue exploit. We also got theme support by Arab Pixel here, and this is one that I just covered in yesterday's episode where I walked you through downloading this download0.dat, and we started playing around with installing this theme as well as the Fallout theme. So now what we can see is that those are fully baked into 2.0. And then finally, there is a light mode build. And what this one does is that it auto detects the firmware and the jailbreak, and no UI or extra features. Again, this is something that was shown back a few weeks ago where we had the download 0_dat_light here. So anyways, a couple of different things that's featured in this release. We can see a few other things that's been changed or fixed. Things like the background music loading, an ESLint error, updating the README, a couple of more just quality improvements in here. And if we go ahead and we scroll down into this a little bit, we can see that there's pretty much now 5 different 7Z files that you can get. You can get the one that is Vue extended storage, and this is obviously where you're just going to use the extended storage method in order to jailbreak. There is a Vue Lite for a manual setup, and then a Vue Lite for a system backup. So obviously you want to take this one if you can't get jailbroken, for example, or you just have a new system. And then there is these two, which is the Vue manual setup and the Vue system backup. So again, these two would have the graphical user interface, and these right here would not. Okay, and so since I have just got myself a 13.0 PlayStation 4, I thought that now would be a great time for me to go ahead and restore a backup and get running on this machine here. And since I do want the graphical user interface, I'm going to take the one that is called Vue System Backup. So let's go ahead and download that one. I've just opened up the Vue System Backup.7z file, and I'm going to go inside of it. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this PS4 folder here, and I'm going to copy that on top of my G drive here. So I just have a USB drive inserted, and I have a payload.bin, which is just my gold hen file. And then I just have a couple of PKGs like Apollo Save Tool, which I know I'd like, as well as PS4 Explorer. So let's go ahead and grab that PS4 folder and just copy that over to the root of my G drive here. And once that's complete, yours should look just like this. It should have export and then backup. So if you see that, then that means everything looks well there. Okay, let's go ahead and connect this up to our PlayStation 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this system restored where we can get jailbroken. So I'm going to go to back up and restore here. We're going to go restore data, and right there it is, vue-after-free 2.0 by the Vue team. I'm going to hit X on this one, and we are going to restore. Now again, while this is restoring, everything is lost on the system in this scenario, but of course you can obviously use the Vue extended storage in order to not lose everything that's on your console. So let's go ahead and get restored, and I'll at least show you what it looks like. Okay, so once it has been restored, there is a user called Vue user, which is the default activated account that you can use. Now, one other thing is that as far as this jailbreak goes, you absolutely do need a network connection. You just want to make sure you're either using the nomadic DNS server or using the 127.0.0.2. Anyways, at this point, it is pretty much ready to go as is. I haven't really done anything outside of just signing in, and so if we press X now on PlayStation Vue, we will first off get this dialog screen that says this service requires you to sign into the PlayStation Network. Now we have a fix for that we'll use, so we'll just go ahead and press OK here. And now give this just a moment, and right there it is. You can see we've got vue-after-free. So let's just quickly go ahead and jailbreak. So 13.0 was detected, and boom, jailbreak success. And now it found the payload, and right there is Goldhen being loaded up. Okay, so that was very quick and very nice, and we can go right up here, and right there we have got Goldhen running in all of its glory. And I will say that this was on the very first run. I have not attempted this multiple times on my 13.0, and well, compared to when this first came out to now, wow, the stability is so much better, especially on these later firmwares like 13.0. Since now the jailbreak has been successful, there is a few things that you probably do want to do. So the first one being, you want to probably come back in here and go ahead and close the application, and then go ahead and relaunch it again. We're going to need to hit OK here, and this time we're going to go down to config, and we're going to take a check mark out of the music here, and we're also going to add a check mark to auto close. Now the other feature that was in here is themes, and I covered theming yesterday, which works exactly like this, so I'll leave you a link to that. So let's go ahead and let's go back here. And in order to get rid of that dialog message that popped up, we need to go right over here to payload menu, and we need to take the fake-signin.bin. So do that and press X on it. You'll see that it says that it is serving an elf loader, and there is the fake sign in by Earth Onion, and now it says signed in, ready to reboot. So next time that you run this jailbreak, you absolutely would not get this pop-up anymore. Okay, so you're probably asking yourself, how do we go ahead and set up another user? By default, we are using the Vue user. Now, you may have remembered at the beginning of this video when I went ahead and created my USB drive, I went ahead and included two files on here, one of them being Apollo Save Tool, and the other one just being PS4 Explorer, because I know I'm going to be using both of these as they're kind of my daily drivers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first go ahead and install both of these packages, because before we create a new user, I want to make sure that we have Apollo Save Tool at least already up and running. So at this point, we have been able to sideload those two packages. We can see we have Apollo Save Tool, which we're going to use, and then also it's just good to have PS4 Explorer 2.0. So I'm going to hold down the PlayStation button here, and I'm going to take the option here to switch user, and as you can see, we are logged in as the Vue user. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new user, and this will be a user on the console. So we're going to skip out of the PlayStation Network, and here I'm going to just go ahead and give it the name of mbcrump. And that looks good, so we're just going to go ahead and hit confirm and then confirm again. So right off of the bat, the first thing that we're going to need to do is to fake activate this account. So I'm going to come into Apollo Save Tool here, and we're going to navigate over here to User Tools, and then we're going to select Activate PS4 Accounts. Now, right here is the account that is already activated called Vue User, and here is the one that isn't activated just yet. So from here, if I go ahead and press X on this, I can go ahead and enter an account ID that maps up to my PlayStation account. Now on this console, I don't necessarily care if they match, so I'm just going to take whatever was generated here, and we're going to go ahead and press done. And as you can see here, it says now account successfully activated. A system reboot is required. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK on this, and we'll just go ahead and take our restart. So now that the PS4 has rebooted, I went ahead and I signed in my mbcrump account. Now, you may be wondering what happens if you just press on PlayStation Vue here. And well, what will happen is, first off, we're going to get the first dialog message that states here the service requires you to sign in. And then if we press OK again, you're going to see this, there is a network communication issue. The service is not responding. Now, in order for us to fix this, what we need to do first off is that we need to come back over here and we need to sign in with the PlayStation Vue user. So let's go ahead and sign back in with Vue user. And now we need to go ahead and close out of the application since it's already been started by another user. So now it will run in its own space, which will work. So at this point, give it just a second here, and we're going to hit OK there. Okay, we'll go ahead and press jailbreak here. And there we go. We've got another jailbreak. Wow, that was so quick. And well, as you can see there, it did the auto close, and I still have the USB drive connected, so it just copied over gold in again. So anyways, very cool. Now we are jailbroken again. Okay, and so back over on the PC, we were working just a little bit earlier with the Vue system backup here. And what we're going to do this time is we're going to go into the online save Vue user. And again, there is this PS4 folder, and I'm just going to copy it on top of my G drive, which is my USB drive. So let's take this and drag and drop it. And well, there won't be anything to override there because this was an actual save data, whereas the first one was just an export. So let's go ahead and plug that into our PS4. So back on our PS4 here, let's go ahead and let's switch users again. So I'm going to go switch user, and this time I'm going to go to mbcrump. And now that we're in here, we're going to come over here to Apollo Save Tool. And again, this account should be fake activated already. So again, you can come in here, and if you see this little padlock here, then that means it has been activated. And so now let's go over to USB saves, and you're going to see a save game right here. Go ahead and press X on that. And then from here, you can go ahead and apply changes and re-sign, and then just take the copy save game to hard disk drive. So we are going to select yes to overwrite that. So at this point, we should be able to go ahead and log back out. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to sign back in with our new user, and we're going to come over here to vue-after-free. We'll hit OK there. And so from here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to select the full install, which is an X here, and right there it goes. It says install complete. Okay, and so as you can see, we are logged in now as mbcrump, and now this is set up to work with that profile. Now, there are quite a few other methods to absolutely go into, but I think this video is a bit long enough. So anyways, I hope this helped some of you out there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Michael, out.